Hi, I'm Kim, and welcome to a gentle yoga class. Always listen to your body because every practice is different. So sometimes you can do more, sometimes less. My practice is different for me every time also. So before we get started, it might be handy to have a foam yoga block if you have one available, or a pillow, a bolster, a blanket, something to elevate yourself on, because sometimes elevating your hips above your knees when you're seated, I'm on a foam yoga block myself, sometimes that gets your pelvis into better alignment with your knees and better alignment for your spine. So if you'd like to try that out, but everybody's different, so whatever's best for your body. And if you need to take a break during the practice, go into child's pose or some other comfortable resting pose and just focus on your breath, because breathing is one of the most important parts of yoga. So find a nice comfortable seated position, and then once you're comfortable, think about sitting well. A nice long tall spine, shoulders rolled up, back and down. Your neck still tends to be tilted forward a little bit, so press your head back against your hand like you're pressing your head against your headrest in your car to get your neck into really good alignment. And then your palms can be face down for relaxation, palms up for a little more energizing. If you feel like you need a little of each, a little relaxation, a little energizing, you could have one palm face down, one palm face up. And then once you're situated, close your eyes or gaze gently at the floor. And let's listen to our breath for just a few moments. And if your breath is short or shallow, try and lengthen your inhales and your exhales to whatever's comfortable for you. Maybe a count of 4 on an inhale, 6 on an exhale. And try and breathe in and out through your nose to tap into your parasympathetic nervous system. And if you'd like to set an intention for your practice, this would be a nice time to do it. If you'd like to devote it to someone you're thinking of or that isn't well, or a state of being. Kindness, compassion, grace, or just a state of being, of staying present in this class. Take another good inhale and exhale. And then open your eyes if they're shut and bring your head to center. And take an inhale. On an exhale, look over your right shoulder. And then look a little bit further over your shoulder than you usually would. Get a little bit more of a stretch. Maybe do a few head nods. And then come to stillness and bring your head back to center and look over your left shoulder. Again, look a little further than you usually would. Try a few head nods. And with your head in a neutral position, bring it back to center, and then look back over your right shoulder again. And back to center, and over your left shoulder one more time. Then come back to center and take your right hand behind you and grasp it with your left hand. And then lay your left ear to your left shoulder and give your right hand a little tug with your left hand, so it gives you a nice stretch on the right side of your neck. Maybe look back a little gently and breathe. Then release your right hand and bring your neck back up to neutral very slowly. And then take your left hand behind you and grasp it with your right hand. And then lay your right ear towards your right shoulder and do a gentle tug on your left wrist with your right hand. Maybe pull it down a little bit towards the back. And then maybe look up just a little bit and breathe. And then release your left hand. Bring your hands back to your knees and do some big, slow shoulder rolls. Inhaling up, back and down. Up, back and down. You can use your whole arm if that feels good. And then change direction. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Now tense your fingers out beside you, and on an inhale, using your whole breath all the way up, inhale up. Give a little stretch at the top with your torso. Exhale slowly down. Inhale up. A little stretch of the torso, not the shoulders. Exhale down. One more, inhale up. Reach. Exhale down. Now keep your right fingers tended beside you. Inhale, reach up with your left arm. Exhale, over. And inhale, back up and over with that arm, and up again with the same arm. And over. Inhale, up. And one more time, up and over with the same arm. And up and over. And then tense your left fingers on the mat. Reach up with your right arm, inhaling up. Exhale over. And up. And over. One more time. And up. And over. Now inhale, reach up to the sky with both your arms. Really reach, lengthen your spine. Try and keep your shoulders down. Inhale. Exhale, twist your torso to the right and lower your hands. And inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to your left and lower your hands. Inhale to center. And do a few of these at your own speed with your own breath. Inhaling at center, exhaling in your twist. Do one more each side. Now meet me in center, reaching up for the sky. Take an inhale and reach like you're climbing a rope, alternating your hands, really reaching real long side stretches. Big, slow reaches. One more each side. Good. Then bring your hands back behind you. Bend your elbows. Clasp your hands. Take an inhale. Exhale. Extend your arms. Straighten them. Expand your chest. Look up a little bit if that feels good. And take another breath here. And inhale. Release your hands. Bring them around in front of you and reverse your arch and flex of your hands. And then inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower your hands down. If you're elevated on something, come down off of whatever you're elevated on. And if your ankles are crossed one direction, cross them the other. And then take an inhale, reach up for the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips flat back, forward fold. And we're going to stay here for a couple of breaths. So take some nice nourishing inhales and cleansing exhales. And then use your hands to walk yourself back up and bring both your feet out in front of you. Straighten your legs, flex your feet, get a little tension in your sits bone, tension in your legs. Sit up nice and tall on your sits bones. Use your hands to lift yourself up and sit yourself back down so you're situated really well. And then lengthen your spine. Then inhale, reach up for the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips flat back, forward fold. And here, if you lower your head, release your neck, you'll get a nice full spine stretch. Take a few breaths. And on your next inhale, use your hands to walk yourself back up and bring your left foot in like you're going to cross your ankles and take your right foot out. So you have two angles here. And then once you're situated, take an inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist your torso to the left and lower your hands. And we're going to stay here for a few breaths, so make small adjustments. Maybe try and look back over your left shoulder towards the back of the room just a little bit more and twist just a little bit more on an exhale. And look back over your right shoulder towards the front of the room. And then look back over your left shoulder towards the back of the room. And then reverse your twist to the other side. And then come back to center with your hands down and switch your feet. Bring your right foot in, take your left foot out. And then once you're situated, inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist your torso to the right, lower your arms and your hands. And again, we're going to stay here for a few breaths, so maybe press your right hand further into the mat to twist yourself just a little bit more on the exhale. Nice deep inhales and exhales. And then look back over your left shoulder towards the front of the room or the screen. And then look back over your right shoulder towards the back of the room. And then reverse your twist to the other side. And then come back to center. Now come up onto your knees and straighten your left leg. We'll be mirroring each other here. And then on an inhale, reach up with your right arm. And exhale over for gate pose. Take a breath here. really check your upper arm, make sure it's back over your head as much as possible, reaching with your fingertips for the far wall. Try not to compress too much into your left side. And inhale back up and over with that hand to the mat, and up and over with your other arm. And here, really press with your foot into the mat, reach with your fingertips for the far wall, really lengthen and elongate your side, and breathe. Then on an inhale, make big, slow circles with your arm one direction. Inhaling up, exhaling down at your own speed. And then change direction. Maybe follow your hand with your head if that's comfortable, tracing the circle with your head. And then come to stillness, and then inhale up one more time with your right arm, and exhale over. And inhale up and over with that hand and change knees, and straighten your right leg. And then inhale up with your left arm, exhale over for gate pose on this side. And again, check your arm above your head, that it's back over your head as much as possible. Fingertips reaching for the far wall. Try not to compress too much into your right side. Inhale up and over with that hand down to the mat, and up and over with your other arm. And again, really press with your foot into the mat, reach with your fingertips, long, long side. Big, deep breaths. And on an inhale, make big, slow circles with your arm one direction. And then change direction. Good. And come to stillness and inhale up one more time with your left arm and exhale over. And inhale up and over with that arm and come to both of your knees. And have your feet flexed behind you if that's comfortable for you, or you can have them flat, but you could get a nice toe stretch if your toes are flexed behind you. Now to inhale, we're going to reach up for the sky. Exhale with a flat back, lean back about 45 degrees or less, but aim for about 45. Inhale back up, nice flat back, everything all together, exhale back. Up one more time, exhale back. And up, and then bring your hands back behind your hips and rest them on your hips. Roll your shoulders back and down. And then take an inhale. On an exhale, do a gentle, press with your hands against your hips gently, and a gentle upper back bend camel. Just looking up towards the ceiling, a little bit of a back bend camel. And breathe. And inhale back up and over into tabletop. And if you want to give your wrists a break in tabletop, you can make fists with your hands and keep your thumb on the outside. That can give your wrists a break if they're bothering you, or if you just want to give them a break. And then establish a good solid tabletop with your wrists under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. And then take an inhale. Exhale, lift your head and your tailbone towards the ceiling. Really extend your abdominal muscles. Try not to compress your lower back for cow. Exhale into cat. Do a few of these at your own speed with your own breath. Inhaling in cow. Exhaling in cat. And come to stillness in tabletop, and we're going to transition cat, cow into child's pose. So from cow, exhale into cat, and go back into child's pose. Inhale up into tabletop to cow. Exhale into cat, and back into child's pose. Inhale up into tabletop to cow. Exhale to cat. And back to child's pose. And let's stay here for a breath or two. Really pressing your hands into the mat, reaching your tailbone towards the mat, really elongating your spine. Look up between your hands and walk your hands over to the right side of your mat. Cross your left hand on top of your right hand. And breathe. Then look up and walk your hands back to the center and over to the left side of your mat. Right hand on top of left hand. And stay here for a breath or two. And then look up between your hands and walk your hands back to center. And then press back up into tabletop and straighten your right leg and flex your foot. Really ground your toes into the mat. And then roll up onto your toes. Do a little rocking up and back. Up, back. And then come to stillness. Take a breath. And then bring your right knee to the mat, straighten your left leg. And again, rock up on your toes and down. And then come to stillness with a nice flex, get a nice calf stretch. And then lift your left leg straight up and your right arm straight out. Really reach with your fingertips, press with your heel, lengthen your spine. Take an inhale. Exhale, lower your hand and your knee to the mat. Alternate, lift your left arm, right leg. Really reach with fingers, press with your heel. Inhale. And exhale, lower to the mat. Lift your right arm, left leg. We're not staying here long, so really reach and press. Exhale down. Left arm, right leg. And down. Right arm, left leg. And down. Left arm, right leg. And down. Now take your right hand closer to the center of the mat. And then on an inhale, reach up with your left arm for the sky. Exhale through dynamically. Inhale back up. Exhale through. One more up. Exhale through. And then we're going to hold it here for a few breaths and make small adjustments. Maybe walk your right hand further up the mat. Use it to press your hips further back. And breathe. If you'd like to take a bind here, you could reach up with your right arm across your back, hook it into your hip if that's accessible for you, or you can stay in the thread the needle without the bind. Take 3 good breaths here. Guess that was a few more than 3 breaths, but next inhale, if you're in a bind, release your bind and press your right hand into the mat and reach up with your left arm. Again, one more time, and exhale it down to the mat. And then bring your left hand more to the center of the mat. Inhale, reach up with your right arm. Exhale through dynamically. Inhale back up. Exhale through. One more, up. Exhale through. And then again, we're going to hold it here for a few breaths, so make small adjustments. Maybe walk your left hand further up the mat. Use it to press your hips further back. If you'd like to take a bind, reach up and around with your left arm across your back. And breathe. On your next inhale, if you're in a bind, release your bind. Press your left hand into the mat. Reach up one more time with your right arm. Exhale it to the mat. And then walk your hands up to the top corners of your mat and melt down into puppy pose. You might need to walk your knees back a little bit too, so your knees stay under your hips. And take a few breaths here. Next inhale, look between your hands and slide forward onto your stomach. For Sphinx pose. And in Sphinx pose, you want your elbows right under your shoulders. And your legs can either be together or apart if you're having any back discomfort. And then once you're positioned for Sphinx pose, spread your fingertips wide apart so you can really grip the mat. And then use your fingertips to shrug yourself forward on your hip bones just a little bit more to give a little more abdominal activation. And then you can do anything you like while we're here for a few breaths. You could look around. You could look down. Just try not to drop your shoulders. And then if you're looking around, moving your head, come to stillness. And on an exhale, lower all the way down onto your stomach with your arms back by your sides. And for locust, we're going to inhale and we're going to lift both our arms and our legs and bring our shoulder blades together and take a few breaths and then release. So inhale up and breathe. Exhale, release. Inhale, up. Exhale, release. One more, up. Exhale, release. And then make a pillow for your head with your hands. And bring your toes together, lay your heels out for crocodile pose. You can either stay still in crocodile pose or rock your hips a little side to side. But try and breathe so deeply that you feel your back expand up into the space above you. On your next inhale, press up into tabletop again. And then bring your left foot through for a low lunge with your knee on the mat. And then reach up for the sky. Take an inhale. Exhale, twist your torso to the right, straighten your arms. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to your left, straighten your arms. Then inhale back to center. Exhale, go a little deeper into your lunge and lower your arms about 45 degrees. Inhale back up. Exhale, lunge. Inhale back up. Last time, exhale, lunge. This time, lower your left hand to the mat and do big slow circles one direction with your right arm. And then place your right hand on the mat and do a little twist and do big slow circles with your left arm, one direction. And then come to stillness. Take an inhale. Exhale. Stretch back into a hamstring stretch. Flex your left foot if you're not already. You can rock your hips a little side to side and breathe. And then take an inhale, come forward onto your left foot and walk it over to the right side of your mat. And lower your knee down for pigeon. And in pigeon, your back leg can be straight or it can be bent to any degree, and it'll be the same effect. The most important thing in pigeon is that your hips are level so that when you lift your hands, you don't tip over. So if you do tip over, then you want to put something under your left hip to support you, a block, a bolster, a pillow, something to support you. Then if your leg is straight, look back and make sure it's as straight as it can be. And then once you're situated, take an inhale. Exhale, slowly lower down. We're going to take a few breaths here, so make small adjustments. Flex your left foot if you're not already, the one closest to you. Try and lower your right hip closer to the mat. This is a nice time to revisit your intention if you set one at the beginning of class. Next inhale, press back up and come back into child's pose. A couple of breaths. Next inhale, press back up into tabletop again, and then bring your right foot through for a low lunge with your knee on the mat. And then inhale, reach up for the sky. Exhale, twist your torso to your right, straighten your arms. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to your left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, go a little deeper into your lunge. Reach out with your arms about 45 degrees. Inhale back up. Exhale, lunge. Inhale up. Last time, lunge. And then drop your left hand to the mat inside your foot and do big slow circles with your right arm, one direction. And then rest your right hand on the mat inside your right foot and do big slow circles with your left arm, one direction. And come to stillness. Take your right hand outside your right foot and press back into hamstring stretch. And again, flex your right foot. Flatten your back as much as possible. Do a little wiggling of your hips. And breathe. Next, inhale, come forward onto your right foot, walk it over to the left side of your mat, and lower your knee down to the mat for pigeon on this side. And pigeon can be very different on each side, so your back leg could be straight or bent, and then check your balance. And if you need something to support yourself on this side, put something under your right hip. And then once you're situated, take an inhale. Exhale, slowly lower down. And while we're here, make small adjustments. Flex your right foot if you're not already, the one closest to you. Try and lower your left hip closer to the mat. Next inhale, use your hands to press yourself back up and back into tabletop, into child's pose again. If you have any discomfort in child's pose with in your hip area, you could separate your knees just a little bit, not necessarily wide knees, but just separate a little bit to allow more space for your pelvic area to settle down between your hips. Next inhale, press up into tabletop, and then bring your right foot through and your left foot up for a forward fold. Then bend your left knee, keep your left hand on the mat, reach up with your right arm for a twist. Exhale, lower your right hand to the mat, bend your right knee, reach up with your left arm for a twist. Exhale your left hand to the mat, bend your knees if you need to, hinge at the hips, flat back, reach all the way up. Exhale, a little right bend. Inhale, center. Exhale, a little left bend. Inhale, center. Exhale, a little back bend with your upper back. Inhale, center. Exhale, hands, heart center. Okay, let's establish a good solid Tadasana or mountain pose before we move along. So you want your feet about hip width apart. You want to lift all your toes off the mat and then lower them down slowly, one at a time. Pinky toes first, and then all the other ones as slow as you can so you get good and grounded in all your toes. And come up on your tippy toes and then back down so you feel all the parts of your feet. You want a little tension in your legs, a nice neutral pelvis, not tilted back or forward. And your torso you want nice and long and lifted, so reach up like you're trying to reach the top shelf in a closet. Exhale down, and then your shoulders you want to roll up, back, and down. And this takes your neck into really good alignment, but the head still tends to be tilted forward, so press back with your head against your hand to get it in better alignment. And then you want to feel like there's a string lifting up out the top of your head, lifting you up towards the sky, really lengthening your spine. Your hands can be relaxed. Let's take a few breaths to enjoy this nice, strong Tadasana. And close your eyes if you're comfortable, or gaze at the floor. Okay. Now bring your feet a little bit closer together where you would usually have them for chair pose. And on an inhale, come up on your tippy toes, reach up for the sky. Exhale down into chair, hands at heart center. Inhale up, reach, reach, exhale, chair. Sit. Inhale up, tall. Exhale, chair. And then stay here, take an inhale. Exhale, twist your torso to your right, lower your elbow to your knee. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist your torso to the left, elbow to knee. Inhale back to center. Exhale, sit a little deeper. And inhale, reach up for the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise halfway with a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, hands, heart center. Now I invite you to turn your mat widthwise if it's not already that way. If you've got it lengthwise, if you want to turn it widthwise for the next part of the practice. And if you have yoga blocks, if you'll place one at each end of the mat. We might use them. We'll see. But just it's good to have them there in case we do use them. And just kind of have them accessible. You don't need them. You're fine without them if you don't have them. If you do, that's good too. And then we're going to start in Tadasana. And inhale. Reach for the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, fold to your left. We're going to be mirroring. You should feel like you're looking in a mirror. Inhale to center. Exhale, fold to your right. Inhale to center. Exhale, separate your feet for goddess pose. Sorry about that. Easy block. You should be a goddess here. And your feet angled out a little bit for goddess. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, up, 5-pointed star. Exhale, goddess. One more time. Inhale, up. This time on the exhale, you're going to lower your arms. Going to shift your right hip out a little bit and reach with your left hand. Exhale over into triangle. And this is where you might want to try a block, if you have a block, in triangle. And try and rotate your hips outwards, stacking your hip bones, really trying to roll your shoulder back above you. Take a breath. Then exhale over into pyramid. Again, another good place for a block. Take a breath. Then inhale up into high lunge. And exhale over into extended side angle. Then inhale over to the other side for extended side angle. Into high lunge. Over into pyramid. And open into triangle. And inhale up into 5-pointed star. Exhale into goddess. Inhale, hands together, feet together. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise halfway, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, fold to your left. Inhale, center. Exhale to your right. Inhale, center. Exhale into goddess. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, goddess. 5-pointed star. And goddess. One more, 5-pointed star. Exhale, lower your arms, shift your hip, reach out with your left hand over into pyramid. Over into, I'm sorry, that was triangle. We're going over into pyramid now. Hopefully you're watching me, not listening to me. Inhale up into high lunge. Over into extended side angle. Inhale over to the other side, extended side angle. Into high lunge. Over into pyramid. And open into triangle. Trikonasana. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, hands together, feet together. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, fold to your left again. And center. And right. And center. Exhale into goddess. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Goddess. And 5-pointed star. And goddess. 5-pointed star last time. Exhale into triangle. Over into pyramid. And up into high lunge. Over into extended side angle. Over to the other side, extended side angle. Into high lunge. Over into pyramid. And open into triangle. Inhale to 5-pointed star. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, feet together, hands together. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, hands heart center. Now separate your feet to a standing straddle, a little bit further apart than your shoulders. And take your hands behind you and clasp them, bend your elbows. Take an inhale, exhale, straighten your arms, hinge at the hips, flat back, fold over. And take a breath. And release your hands to the mat. And then instead of just hanging here, try pressing your hands into the mat. Create a little pressure. See if that creates a different sensation. And then keep your right hand on the mat. Reach up with your left arm for a twist. And exhale, lower your left hand to the mat. Reach up with your right arm for a twist. And then exhale your right hand to the mat and walk both your hands over towards your right foot. And then walk your hands back to center and over towards your left foot. And walk your hands back to center and then scoot your feet in about half the distance, heel toeing in that they are, and then lower down into malasana, or garland pose, or squat pose. And your heels can be off the mat, or they can be elevated on a blanket or something if you need a little elevation, whatever's good for you. And then once you're positioned in malasana, take note of your spine. Make it nice and long. You can use your elbows to press against your knees a little bit. You can do a little rocking side to side. And breathe. On an exhale, lower down to the mat. And we're going to do a few back rolls. And then come to stillness for one of your back rolls in boat pose. Whatever's comfortable for you for boat. Find that place for you. Then take an inhale. Exhale, straighten your legs and go back just a little bit. Inhale up. Exhale back. Keeping your back flat. Inhale up. Exhale back. Hold it here for a breath. And exhale. Release, take your hands behind your hips and then press up into reverse plank or reverse tabletop. Here's reverse plank. If that's not accessible, you could do reverse tabletop, which is here. And breathe. The next exhale, come down to the mat onto your back for a bridge pose. In our first bridges, we're going to do some dynamic bridges. On the inhale, we're going to lift our arms over our head up into bridge. So inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhale up, exhale slowly, slowly down. Inhale up, exhale slowly down. The next bridge we're going to hold for a few breaths. So if you're comfortable rolling your shoulders under your back and clasping your hands, you're welcome to do that. So inhale up and breathe. Next, exhale. If your shoulders are rolled under your back, untuck them. And then slowly come down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Lumbar vertebrae last. Good. Then bring your legs straight above you for waterfall. If you need some support under your sacrum, you could use your hands there. And then once you're in waterfall, let's point and flex your toes, your feet. Do some rolling of the ankles, one direction. And change direction. And come to stillness, and then try and take the soles of your feet and face them towards each other and away from each other. Towards each other and away. Together and away. And come to stillness. And do big, slow bicycles, one direction. And then change direction. And then come to stillness. And with your feet together and your legs together, do small, slow circles, one direction. And change direction. And then come to stillness and give your legs a good shake for a few breaths. And then come to stillness. And then bend your knees and bring your peace fingers between your big toe and your second toes for happy baby. You can either stay still in happy baby or rock a little side to side. You could have bent knees, you could have straight legs. And then bring your knees together for hug knees. You either have tight hug knees, grasping your elbows, and stay pretty still. Maybe rock a little bit side to side. Or you can grasp your shins, have a little more relaxed hug knees, and then you could do circles with your knees, one direction together. And change direction. And then come to stillness and keep your right knee hugged in towards your chest and straighten your left leg. And alternate. Hug your left knee in, straighten your right leg. And alternate. And alternate. And alternate. And alternate. And then keep hugging your left knee and bring your right foot to the mat and release your left knee. Place your left ankle above your right knee for reclining figure 4. And then reach through either behind your thigh or through to your shin for whatever's best for you. Try and have your neck relaxed, your head on the mat, relaxed shoulders. Nice gentle figure 4, reclining. And flex your feet if you're not already. If you're grasping your shin, press your shin up towards the ceiling a little bit. And breathe. And then release your right foot to the mat and switch. Place your left foot on the mat, right ankle above left knee. And again, determine what's best for you for reclining figure 4 on this side. It can be different. And flex your feet if you're not already. And release your left foot to the mat and your right foot to the mat. With both feet on the mat, lift your hips up and shift them a little to the right. Get your spine in really good alignment for a twist. Then straighten your left leg. Take your right knee across for a twist. Reach out behind with perpendicular with your right arm. And we're going to be here for a few breaths, so again, make small adjustments. Maybe press on the outside of your right knee with your left hand, apply a little pressure to twist just a little bit more. Maybe try and lower your right shoulder to the mat a little bit more. And breathe. Roll back onto your back again. Place both your feet on the mat. Then lift your hips up and shift them a little to the left this time and lower them. And then straighten your right leg. Take your left knee across for a twist on this side. Reach out behind perpendicular with your left arm. And look back over your left shoulder. Take some deep inhales and exhales. And then roll onto your back. again, and straighten your legs full length, and your arms full length above you. And on an inhale, do a big full body stretch. Inhale, stretch, stretch, stretch. Exhale, release. And you can either stay here for Savasana or make small adjustments. Maybe separate your legs a little wider apart. Put your arms more in a star shape instead of everything straight up and down. You can lay on your side or your stomach. You don't have to be on your back. Grab any kind of prop you might want, a pillow, a bolster. You'll take a very short Savasana. So for the next few moments, just try not to think about anything. Keep the space for you. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. And then roll over onto your side. So you can assimilate your practice and thank your body for doing yoga today. And then come up into a comfortable seated position. And if you have a little more time for some more Savasana, I highly encourage it. Another 5 minutes, 10 minutes to a half hour, you'll be well worth it. So I hope you feel wonderful. Have a great rest of your day. And I hope to see you again. Namaste.